When you're selling your home or if you're simply refinancing your home, there will be a real estate appraisal. This is not something that has to cause a lot of fear. So I'm going to ask you to simply take a breath so we can reassess the situation. And let's help you prepare for a successful real estate appraisal with 11 easy steps. My name is Andrew Finney, and my passion is helping you make sense of real estate. If you need help finding a top agent near you, or if you simply want to drop me a line to say hello, my contact info is below. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now and like this video. Thank you. All right, my friend, let's take a closer look at these 11 really easy steps so that you can be best prepared for your real estate appraisal. I want you to know that it is okay, and sometimes it's like very anxiety provoking, but following these steps are going to be extremely easy to do. The first thing to do is to ensure that all health and safety items are working properly. When you're wondering about what constitutes health and safety features, think of your smoke alarms, your carbon monoxide detectors. We want to make sure that those are in functioning order, and that if the batteries need to be changed out, that they're changed prior to the real estate appraiser coming in. We want to get that done now, so please go ahead and test those smoke detectors, test those carbon monoxide detectors, and let's make sure they're ready to go. The next thing that you want to address is your home safety system. A lot of us have security systems in our house, and what we need to do is make sure that it's properly turned on and that they know how to use it and that it's not obstructed by any clutter or any boxes as you're getting ready to move out. Please go take a look at it right now and ensure that it works. The second thing that you want to do is to investigate the exterior of your house. Simply walk around the exterior of your house, and what we're looking for here are any items that could cause a concern to an appraiser. Think about like any cracks in the wall. Think of like any cracks in the foundation. If it's there, please go ahead and address it. Call an appropriate professional and get it done and save that repair receipt so that you can make it available to the real estate appraiser. If you're on the market and selling your house, you want to make that information available to your trusted real estate advisor so they can provide it to the buyer's agent and the buyer themselves. We want to make sure that everything is on the up and up and set you up for success. The next thing that you should do is go into the interior of your home, and when we're looking at the interior home, look along the floor and investigate your baseboards. See if there's any moisture staining or any baseboard issues popping away from the wall. If so, let's go ahead and get that tended to right away and make those corrections that are needed to be done. Doing so will set you up for a successful real estate appraisal, and the appraiser knows that you're on top of your home maintenance. The next thing that you want to do is then look up at your ceiling. Are there any moisture stains? Is there a roof leak? Is there something that needs to be addressed? Well, if you want the best real estate appraisal possible, these are things that must be addressed. Please take a closer look at it right now. Engage your home with objective eyes, with a very discerning eye for attention to detail. The third thing that you want to do is put together a list of improvements. Again, if you're on the market right now, these are things that you really want to do before you go on the market by talking it out with your trusted real estate advisor. If at the same time you're doing a refinance, and let's say that you've done a lot of home renovations, you want to put together a list of improvements. Maybe you upgraded the counters from granite to quartz. Maybe you upgraded the cabinets and now you have brand new cabinets in there. Maybe you have a brand new HVAC system. You want to make sure that the real estate appraiser knows exactly any kind of upgrades you've done to your home to make it more fab, where fab is simply an acronym for the features, amenities, and benefits of your home. Even if it was an upgrade to your front yard landscaping or backyard landscaping, write it down. When you do your list of improvements, simply write down what the project was, how much it cost, and when you did it. To help you get started on how to form a list of improvements, let's take a look at something that gets you going. Let's say that the project that you did was the front yard landscape. On a piece of paper, you'd write down front yard landscape. The next thing that you'd write down is when you did it. Let's say it was April 2019. And the third thing that you'd write down is how much the overall project cost. In this case, let's say it was $23,000. You're going to follow this example straight down with those three categories being what was the project, when was it completed, and how much it cost. Tally up the total cost at the bottom so that the real estate appraiser can have that available to them as they're assessing the value and appraising the value for your home. It'll go a long ways to helping you get the best appraisal possible. The fourth thing to do is to spruce up your house. When we're talking about sprucing up your house, if you know certain areas of your home should be repainted, repaint it. If you know certain areas need to be touched up with paint, touch it up with paint. If you know other things that need to be done, maybe the outside needs to be trimmed, the trees need to be trimmed, the shrubs need to be trimmed, go out and trim it and clean it up. Make sure, most critically important as one of those health and safety things, make sure that no trees or shrubs are actually touching the house or the roof line of the house. Appraisers will not like that, and if you're on the market selling your house, it will become an issue when the appraiser goes out and takes a look at that. In addition, the home inspector will definitely make it known too. Why not go ahead and take care of this up front? front before a real estate appraiser gets there to set you up for success and reduce the anxiety of a real estate appraisal. It doesn't have to be anxiety and provoking if we're prepared. The fifth thing to do is to do some research of your neighborhood sales. When you're looking at your neighborhood sales, it's very, very important to know how a real estate appraiser is going to look at value. What a real estate appraiser is doing is assessing like-in-kind properties. So if you have a single-story home, they're ideally looking at other single-story homes within a half a mile to a 1 mile radius of your house. Now, let's say that you have like a 4,000 square foot home. They've come up with a list of comparables that have sold in the most recent 90 days. They may follow a 10% rule where they'll look at homes as low as 3,600 square foot and as big as 4,400 square foot in this example. Then they're going to do a price comparison per square foot and calculate the total. What was the condition of that property? What was the overall features, amenities, and benefits of that property? How does it translate into your property and assigning the value on your property? They're going to be taking a closer look at each of these items, so it becomes incumbent upon you to take a closer look at this. Now, of course, if you're on the market with your trusted real estate advisor or preparing to go on the market with your trusted real estate advisor to list your home, then it's their job to perform a comparative market analysis. Now, hopefully, if you are refinancing your house, you have a good relationship with the real estate agent that helped you buy that home. You can simply pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, I'm looking to do a refinance. Could you do a quick CMA real quick just to let me know what's selling around my area so I'm well prepared? More than likely, your trusted real estate advisor is going to say, you know, I'm happy to get that over to you. Give me a few minutes and I'll go ahead and email it over to you. Great to hear from you again. Do you happen to know of anyone else that I can help? So that's just being honest. You know, the lifeblood of our business is actually referrals. So they're probably going to ask you at the same time as they're doing that solid to perform that CMA. So go ahead and reach out to them, get those numbers together and have them ready to go, and you'll be one more step closer to a successful appraisal. The sixth thing that you want to do is to deep clean your house. Now, the 3 Ds are critically important when you get ready to list a home. The 3 Ds being to declutter, depersonalize, and deep clean. In the case if you're looking at refinancing your home, then it's critically important to simply deep clean your home. And if you do declutter it along the way, this is a good thing too. All the same, your home needs to be looking good, smelling good, and the real estate appraiser is going to walk in and say, oh my God, I can see the value in this home. You'll be surprised how far a little bit of deep cleaning can go. The seventh is to take a look at the landscape. I touched on this a moment ago, and it is realistically that important. You do want to make sure you have no trees or shrubs touching your house. Trees that get onto the roof line can actually cause damage the longer that happens. Consider what happens if you had a really strong storm come through and it broke a branch off right on the top of your roof and it caused roof damage. It wouldn't have happened had you simply had that branch cut off and away from your roof. You would have preserved your roof, and when that storm blew through, your tree would have already been pruned back and it would have been okay whenever it went through, and you would have incurred no damage. So go ahead and go outside and take a look at your landscape and make sure that none of your trees are overhanging the roof of your house or touching the roof of your house, okay? And then the next thing is to simply look at your shrubs that you may have planted next to the walls of your house. Now, this can become really problematic because it can cause problems to the structure of the house itself. Have you ever noticed that if you pull back a shrub away from the wall of a house, how discolored it is? And normally there's some moisture issues going on back there, and you might be like, hey, that is not so pretty. I'm gonna have to repaint that, put it back, hurry, right, hide it again. No, you actually want to clean that up. You don't want to hide it. You want to clean it up so that it looks good. Let's go ahead and get your landscape in great order, and when you get ready to sell your house, it's gonna bode well for you. And if you're simply refinancing your house, then it's gonna look that much sharper for your curb appeal. The eighth thing that you want to do is to make it easy for the appraiser. When we're talking about making it easy for an appraiser, what we're talking about is when that appraiser calls you to set that appointment, if you're doing a refinance, make it easy for them to come in and inspect your house to do the appraisal. Simply work with their schedule. They'll work with your schedule. They're very nice people. Having set a lot of these appraisals for the sellers that I work with in Las Vegas, they're very nice. And they want to make sure that they're not being an inconvenience to you, but let's also make sure that we're not being an inconvenience to them. Having a good professional relationship definitely won't hurt in helping you get the best appraisal possible. Now, of course, if you're listed with your agent right now on the market, your listing agent's going to get the call from the appraisal. Now, when the appraiser calls your listing agent, they're going to call you to set up a time. Make sure that it's easy for them to go ahead and go in there and get the job done, and you'll be one step closer to closing on your home. The ninth thing is to pay attention to the $500 rule. What the the $500 rule is for everything that is outdated in your home. For let's say that you have like old wallpaper, you have old vanities, you have old fixtures, you have cracks in the floor, you have linoleum that's lipping up if you have linoleum floors, right? You have these problems in the house. For each one of those, an appraiser is going to go in and start deducting $500, $500, $500. Well, if you had 20 such defects in your house, 20 times 500 is $10,000. So that'd be $10,000 less on your appraised value for very simple and easy things that we can fix for probably a lot less than $10,000. So if you want the best home appraisal, make sure that you bring it up to snuff and everything is updated and looking sharp. The 10th thing is to think about your overall community. Maybe the real estate appraiser doesn't know that the school district just got an upgrade in your area, that the school recently went in, or that it was a brand new school with really good high school ratings, or perhaps they weren't aware of some of the shopping centers that are going in around your community. Now you might be saying, well, if a real estate appraiser is assigning value to my house, Andrew, why does it have any relevance what's going on in the overall area? It's a really good question. The reason it becomes relevant is because whenever an appraiser assigns the value for a specific property, they're also looking at overall property values for the area at large. So not all real estate appraisers may be intimately familiar with your community the same way that you are because you're living there. So simply write it down right behind your list of improvements. Hey, we got a new school, or hey, recently the school got bumped up a rating. They're now considered an A rating school. Let them know these things. Hey, you know, a shopping center went down half a mile from the house. They now have a lot more businesses over there. It made things a lot more convenient. We got a new Costco right down the road. All of these things an appraiser is going to take into consideration. Make sure that they know what's going on in the area. It's not that you have to be present for the appraisal, but just write it down and let them know that it's there if you're refinancing your house, and make sure that your listing agent shares that information with the appraiser if you're in the closing process of selling your house. And the 11th thing is to remember what the appraiser is going to be assessing. Let's go over 9 things to keep in focus. The first is the condition of the exterior of your house. The second is the condition of the interior of your house. The third is the overall size for your home. The fourth are any recent upgrades that you may have done to your home. The fifth is whether your home is a modular construction, a manufactured home, a stick-built home, essentially like a normal home, traditionally built home there. This is what they're looking at for like-in-kind properties. The sixth thing is the neighborhood in which your home is located. It would be really known as like neighborhood appeal. This goes back to all those different things that may have gone on in the area that increase the overall property values near your home. The seventh thing is the desirability of the lot of your house is located on. Homes that are on a cul-de-sac lot or a bigger than average lot will normally carry a little bit more favor and a little bit more weight with an appraiser whenever they're looking at where the lot is located. Just because you have a 2-acre parcel doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the same value as a person that has a 1-acre parcel, but maybe they're on a cul-de-sac and they back up to the greenbelt. Whereas the 2-acre parcel may be on the interior side of the community and you have neighbors all around you. The location of the actual lot can assist in boosting your appraised value. The 8th thing is the school district that you're located in. What are the ratings? Even if you don't have kids, this is extremely important. And it's important to know that when you sell your home and you're looking for your new home, make sure that the home that you're buying is in a good school district. It will help preserve your property value, if not increase it. The 9th thing are any unusual factors which could affect the property both negatively and positively. All of these things add up at the end of the day. So now that you know more about how to prepare for a home appraisal, let's take a closer look at the 4 reasons for a low appraisal, and let's dive into detail about what a real estate appraiser is looking at during an appraisal. Looking forward to our next conversation. We'll see you in a few.